Here's a secret. When kids vent to you, they're not always looking for solutions. Sometimes they just need to be heard. Before we get into it, take a second to like this video and subscribe so more adults can learn how to really listen to kids. It comes from a good place. Adults often jump into fixing mode because they want to help. And let's be honest, it is distressing to watch a child you care for in distress. It does not feel good to us as the adults in their life. So for many reasons, adults will jump into fixing mode because they want to help. They want to be helpful. But I'm here to tell you that listening and validating often is helping more than immediately offering advice. Neuroscientific research from the National Institute of Health suggests that when children feel heard and validated, their brain releases a chemical called oxytocin. And oxytocin is a hormone that reduces stress and strengthens emotional bonds. Here's what that means. Just by allowing them space to get it out, and then you listening and validating what they've shared with you, you are helping. If you are wanting to help, often it feels like you have to do something. You have to be active about something. And listening and validating is active. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is sometimes we feel like we have to take some type of action in order to be helpful. But this research shows that if you will just really listen and try to do your best to understand and then validate a child as they are expressing themselves to you, you are helping, and actually helping in one of the best ways you can help. As a matter of fact, a study from the Journal of Child and Family Studies found that kids who feel heard by their parents show lower levels of stress and higher emotional resilience. Just feeling understood helps children regulate emotions better. Many times it can feel like, oh, well, if I validate that emotion, then it's just going to make them weak. It's just going to make them unable to participate. It's going to make them lack resilience. But the opposite is actually the truth. That if you will listen and then validate children's emotions, you are helping them regulate emotions better by not making a huge deal and rushing in and trying to fix and save and help in all these different ways. Just by listening and validating are helping the child to see, oh, this emotion may not be such a huge deal. I can handle it. And it helps them regulate their emotions better. Sometimes kids just need a space to talk things through and feel supported. So here's a tip for you. Instead of sharing right after a child expresses some difficult situation that they went through, or some difficulty they had with a friend or a sibling, or even some difficult emotion that they're dealing with, instead of just jumping in and saying, oh, well, here's what you should do, try this. That sounds tough. Do you want advice or just to talk? It can change everything. And a child who feels heard and who understands that you are not going to just jump in and offer advice before they want your advice, or you're going to jump in and offer advice before they need your advice, will begin to build this skill in themselves to say, oh, maybe I do have this. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can work through this on my own. I don't need advice this time. I just wanted you to listen. And that child who feels heard will be more open to guidance when they actually need it. None of us likes a lecture, especially an unwarranted lecture or a lecture that we feel is unwarranted. And if that's what you're doing, if you are constantly lecturing your child on what they should be doing and choices they should be making and how they should be doing things differently, then they're not really going to want to come to you for another lecture when they might actually need one. So if you'll validate what they're saying to you and then ask, do you want advice or just to talk? Then they'll be more open to your guidance if and when they actually need it. If you have ever needed someone just to listen, hit like and subscribe so we can help more kids feel truly heard.